What's up guys, Jonny May here, and welcome to this week's quick tip where I'm going to teach you how to play contemporary gospel and R&B piano. And if you think this style is hard to play, well, let me tell you, this is one of the easiest styles if you understand how to take a simple chord progression like this and transform it into these more interesting chords. And it is a very simple three-step process that I'm going to show you in today's lesson. So let's go ahead and dive in. I want to show you the basic chord progression. It's called a 1-6-4-5 chord progression. And it's a very simple chord progression, okay? We're in the key of F major, we're on an F major chord. D minor, this is a 6 chord. B flat major, this is a 4 chord. And then we have a C major, this is a 5 chord, okay? So here's what we're basically gonna do. This is step number 1, okay? If you want something to sound like gospel or R&B piano, the first step is to make them 7th chords, okay? So this is now an F major 7 chord. This is now a D minor 7th chord. B flat, this is now a B flat major 7 chord. And this is now a C7 chord, or C dominant 7 chord, okay? These are called diatonic 7th chords. You really should learn these for every key. If you want to play these styles, you can learn these over at pianowithjohnny.com. But that is step number 1. Make them 7th chords, just like this, okay? Now, we want to add some passing chords to make this a lot more interesting. So I'm going to teach you the 2-5 trick, and this is crucial if you want to get that gospel or that R&B sound, is every time you change chords, in this case, if I'm going from an F major to a D minor 7, you can use this very cool trick called a 2-5 to get to your target chord. So, if I want to get to a D minor 7, this is my target chord, I can do a 2-5 to this chord. What's the 2 of the key of D minor? It's an E minor 7 with a flatted 5, okay? That's your 2 chord. Your 5 chord is an A7, okay? This 5 chord gets you to a D minor 7, okay? So already it's sounding a lot cooler. Before we had F major to D minor, now we have F major 7 to E minor 7 flat 5, A dominant 7 to a D minor 7. So much more interesting, okay? Now, next chord progression, we got to get to that B flat major 7. Let's do a 2-5, okay? C minor 7 is the 2 chord in the key of B flat. F7 is the 5 chord in the key of B flat. B flat major 7 is our target chord, and we're going to keep on using this trick. We want to get to that C7 chord, so guess what? We're going to do a 2-5 to the C7. 2 chord is a D minor 7. The 5 chord is a G7, and then the 1 chord there is that C7. That's our target chord, and then we got to get back to the root chord, back to the F. So we do a 2-5, 1 and F, G minor 7, C7 to F major 7. All right, if you guys are enjoying this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button for more videos just like this. All right, so basically we just added some passing chords to make it a lot more interesting, which is the next step if you want to transform your chord progressions into gospel or R&B chord progressions. Now, I do want to mention the lesson sheet music you're seeing up here on the top left of the screen is downloadable and printable over at pianowithjohnny.com. Plus, you can access the smart sheet music, which allows you to change the key. You can practice this lesson in any key with the click of one button. So I'll put a link to that below. But I want to move you on to step number 3. Once you have your 7th chords, which are your passing chords, and by the way, we have a really good course on this called Passing Chords and Reharmonization if you want to learn a whole bunch of other passing chords that you can use in this style. But I want to talk about voicing, because you know, you can play these chords, but they don't sound very interesting. They don't sound hip and cool, and so this is where extensions and alterations come into play. Basically, you can take each one of these chords and you can color your chord like that to make it a lot more interesting. Okay? And so this is the topic of voicing. How do we voice the chord, and what extensions and what alter notes can we add to the chord to make it interesting? I'm going to teach you 2 voicings today to take this to another level. Okay, F major 7, we can actually make this a 9th chord, okay? It's an F major 7, we're adding a 9th to it, and then we're voicing the chord up here, okay? So it's a much cooler chord. E minor 7, flat 5, super cool chord there. And then this is the money chord right here. This is an A7, but we've got a flat 13, we've got a 7, and a sharp 9. These are called altered notes. And you can learn more about altered notes in our alterations course over at Piano with Jonny. We also have an extensions course if you want to do a deep dive on those, okay? D minor 7, D, F, C, E, F, and A. And then check this out. Here's that 2-5-1. Ooh, that is pretty cool and pretty colorful. Basically, we're on our C minor 7. We're making it a 9th chord, C minor 9. And then we've got this very hip F7 flat 13, and it has a sharp 9 in this chord. Very hip F7 chord. And this gets us to our B flat major 9 chord, super nice. And then that 2-5-1 to C, check it out. Love this sound. This is a D minor 9 chord. It's like a D minor 7. We're adding a 9th to this chord. G7, we're adding a 13 and a 9 to this chord. And then this chord, we're going to change a little bit. Before we just played a C7, but we're going to make this a C13 sus4. This is a very common thing we do in gospel music or R&B music, where we don't go to that C7, we suspend that third up to the F. And so we get this sus chord here. We're also adding the 13 to this chord, so it's a much more interesting chord. And then check this out. That is super cool. So this is basically our G minor 7, but we're putting it over a C in the left hand. This is a very cool trick. Again, it's a C 13 sus 4, and then this is a money chord right there. C, E, B flat, E, A, and D flat. Okay, this is called an upper structure. This is called a chord shell. You can do a deep dive on both these concepts over at Piano with Jonny. Okay, and this takes us back to our final chord. So I actually want to try playing this with the backing track, go through these chords, and once you're feeling good, let's go ahead and rock with this backing track. Here it is. And boom, and that sounds so good. By the way, this backing track is downloadable at the same link below. You can find the sheet music, so I'll put a link to that below. I want to teach you one other voicing that you can use. It's a little more interesting, and it goes like this. Ooh, these chords are so cool. They're so colorful. Basically, I'm playing primarily the same notes. F major 9, E minor 7 flat 5. This is a super cool way of playing an A7. It's an A7 shell on the bottom. We've got a 13 and a flat 9. Okay, this is an upper structure. You can do a deep dive on this on over at Piano with Jonny. D minor 7, same chord, but then we do a little walk down. D flat diminished, that walks you down to your C minor 7, which we turn into a C minor 9, and then another cool upper structure chord, F7, we've got a 13 and a flat 9. Again, this creates an upper structure. And then pretty much the rest is the same. D minor 7, we're going to play a little differently. G dominant 7, really, really nice hip way of playing a G chord, and then our C13 sus 4, and then check this out, guys. That is money right there. This is a G minor 11 chord, putting a C in the bottom, which creates a C13 sus 4, and this beautiful C7 chord. I love this chord. It's got a 13, a sharp 11, and a flat 9. It's a beautiful way of playing a C7 chord. Okay, so you can practice this with a backing track. Before we end this lesson, I do want to mention a great course where you can learn more about gospel and R&B piano. It's called the Circular Progression course. I'll put a link to that below as well. Okay, let's go ahead and play this with a backing track, and here's how this one sounds. And 3 and 4. Alright guys, thanks for watching this week's quick tip. If you enjoyed this lesson, I want to encourage you to check out pianowithjonny.com. We have over 700 step-by-step lessons in jazz, blues, improvisation, theory, technique, a ton of styles, and lessons for all playing levels. Also be sure to check out the Piano with Jonny membership. This gives you unlimited access to our entire course library, plus you get to be part of our live monthly events, including our live Q&As, our live workshop lessons. We do weekly challenges challenges for our members. We do student assessments where you can send me a video and I'll give you personalized feedback, and we have a ton of fun. So go check out Piano with Jonny, and I'll see you in the next quick tip.